to go home and I want to win 2 million. I want to win 2 million. I want to win it. They said I'm broke. It's fine. I need 2 million. I'm broke.
I don't like it. And if I can talk into my enemies, they're not that. And I don't want to be sick in bed. I want to be normal. That's not. Nobody wasn't loving at me.
Hey, go to bed then. Thank you. Walk away.
I need to make a choice of either be with him or just continue with my life, because being with someone who acts the victim when they're wrong isn't exactly beneficial. So, yeah. Thank you, Big Brother, though.
A lot happened. Series of events happened immediately after the Saturday night party. So let's get into the video. Welcome back to my page. So Thandeka tells Melly, I love you. She said this when they were trying to get pie. We know after the party, everybody rushes to get their pie. So Liama said she wants to go home. She misses her boyfriend and her mother as she eats pie, and she opens different pie. And Q was with her and he said, you cannot open all. She should just eat the ones with her. So Didi is getting her pie, and she says, I will tell your people you miss them to Liema. So Didi has this feeling that I'm going home. It's my last night. And Liema seemed so drunk. She says again that she misses her uncle, her mom, her people, her lilies, and she wanna win the 2 million. She can't wait for the season to end. They said she's broke. It's fine. She just wants to win the 2 million. So, Ashay, Didi, they are outside with some other housemates. We can see them eating their pie. And Liama shouts and cries, I miss you, Mama. Didi said, we all miss our mom. Trixie is with Bravo and she asks her people outside if she's kind to Bravo. Liama is really crying outside. And Didi, we found Didi on the ground just when the camera shifted inside, because Big Brother told them to go inside and she asked Bravo to pick her up. So Bravo, Trixie, Q, and Didi, they are vibing together in the room. And gosh, Thandeka is drunk. She's talking to Melly. And Melly is laughing as she talks. So she talks about how her day went. They had infringement warning, and she tells him that he pretends to have interesting conversations with other housemates, and their own conversations are always interesting, but she's sad about it because he tries to pretend that, oh, my conversation with others is interesting, and he smiles. And she said she talks to them a little bit. That's the other housemate. And she hugs him and tells him that I don't want to be without you. And she's sad about it as she cries. She said, can you talk to me? They had a misunderstanding today, yes. So that's why she said, can he talk to her? He tells her that she should calm down because she's strong. She should relax. And he said, shut the fuck up. And she said, she will say what she wants to say. So apparently, Thandeka was not so pleased the way Melly was dancing with some others in the party. So she said, "What did you take from it? I saw from the arms." Hmm. He said, "There is something Didi said on the podcast day, the day they were having that podcast. I think it was a tax." And the camera shifts to other housemates, and Liema tells them that they should wait. When she was calling her mom and others, will she get a strike? Because she wasn't nominated, is she getting a strike? And Bravo said, "For what?" And she said, "For calling my mama." And she said, "I love you, mama. I love you guys." And Leora said to Trixie and Didi, "Please win the money." This was them in the closet area. That if she doesn't win, she wants them to win the money. And Didi said anyone can win it. They've all been here for a long time. And Liama said, and Ashe, Biggie asked Liama to report to the diary room because the way she was hyper crying, "I miss my mom, I miss my boyfriend," and all. She was emotional. And when she left the diary room, she was calmer. So Bravo said, "We are leaving tomorrow." And Thandeka said to Melly, she realized there is nothing Big Brother will say to her because she has regulated herself. This was when they called Liema to the diary room. And Thandeka tells Melly she doesn't like when he talks to her enemy. She will burn if she dance with Bravo that way. Like I said, he danced with someone which she was not pleased with. And she said, while she was saying she'll burn if she danced with Bravo, she said because she has, she was referring to someone, I guess is oh, Trixie. That's why she won't dance with Bravo anyhow, and she has reduced the brother sister dance. And she says this person has a certain mentality. Though she saw everything, it was to aggravate her. This was her telling Melly about how she felt during the party. She said, but it's fine. She hates having problem in her relationship caused by other people. She loves him more than anything. Thandeka was talking to Melly. She tells him, "Can you look at me? Can you come closer, move forward? I'm going to fall. Move forward, move close to me." So Melly said he hates being drunk and he stands up. Thandeka said to herself, unfortunately, she has to snap out of this. And Q is seen sleeping. He slept really early. Trixie is also seen sleeping on the couch, the one in the closet area. Bravo tries to take her away from where she was sleeping. It wasn't comfortable. And Didi covers her hair first with a bonnet, but it wasn't working. And she tries to cover her with, she did with a is it bandana? Yes. And Trixie was crying as she was covering her hair. And she said, "Don't cry. It's so that you can sleep. I'm covering your hair because there's a belief the hair will disturb while somebody is sleeping." Trixie tells them that she doesn't like what they are doing. She was sleeping and they woke her. So Liam said, "Where is her mic?" She wasn't wearing any mic and she was talking. And Liam said, "No, she will get an infringement. Where is her mic?" Bravo carries her to the room and she's crying. "Why are you picking me up like I'm drunk?" Her friends laugh as she was talking. She was really funny as she was talking. She was crying. So she said, "What's this thing on her hair?" and she asked Bravo, does he like her with this thing on her hair? And he said, I like it. Liama said, please, she must wear her mic. Bravo, you're wearing your own mic. Don't do that, Bravo. She's going to cry if she gets a microphone infringement warning. And Bravo goes to the main lounge to cool off a bit, and he was seen eating his pie. And Didi passed. Bravo stops Didi as she passed, and he said, help Trixie. And she asked, what's wrong with her? And he insists, just help Trixie. So Liama and Didi are telling Trixie not to cry. They are on her bed, and Trixie said she doesn't like that they woke her now. And she's awake. Liama was on Trixie's bed, and Bravo comes and said, please, she should leave the bed for him to talk to her. Bravo is next to Trixie now, and she's talking and crying and saying, fuck off, Liama, I don't like you. This because while she was talking, they were laughing, and she heard them laughing at her. And Liama said, I love you too, Trixie. Bravo said, for tech, why did he sign this contract? Thandeka is alone outside in the garden and said, what a fucking asshole. She's sitting, there are some chairs in the garden where housemates can sit. She's sitting in one of those chairs, and she continues and says, he never owns up to what he did wrong. Fuck that shit. So she's outside near the games area trying to lie down and sleep. Those let's say bench for a better word, just close to the swimming pool, the game area. She's trying to sleep outside. So um she said, as much as I don't like to be outside, I don't give a fuck at this moment. And she said she wants to go home. Liama looks outside, but it seems Thandeka actually wants to sleep outside. And Liama comes because she noticed Thandeka is outside, and she says, Thandeka, Melly is vomiting. And she said, go comfort him. Liama said, I was just trying to help. It's cold outside and there are mosquitoes, mosquitoes. Thandeka said, don't worry about me. And Liama goes in and said, the stupid girl. So Thandeka goes inside immediately after Liema left just to go and check on Melly. First, that sink area in the bathroom, before you enter any bathroom, he was there and she spotted him. So the guy enters one of the bathroom and she knocks. She said, open, Melly. And he opens. She asks if he's okay. Are you fine? I heard you chew up. Why do you lock this door? Bravo is shown laughing, and he asks, what is wrong with Trixie? And he tells her that he loves her, and she said, I love you more. So Thandeka goes back outside. She's seen outside, and Biggie already said housemates should ensure that they close the garden doors. And Liema comes back to her and said, you can't sleep outside. You can't sleep outside. And Thandeka said, I'm going to sleep outside. Liema said, Thandeka, you have one strike. And Thandeka insists she will get her punishment alone. Liema said, can I get you a blanket? And Thandeka said, no. So Liema leaves because she didn't answer her. She insisted she's going to stay outside. And Liema is worried and said, Melly is going to swear at her. This was her being worried. So she goes to meet Melly and said, Melly, your girlfriend is outside. And he says, leave Thandeka. So Liama tells her friends that Thandeka is sleeping outside and she was holding a blanket with the aim that, okay, I'm going to give her this blanket to cover herself. And while she was going, she tells her friends that Thandeka is sleeping outside. Didi and Bravo said, where is Melly? And Liama said, he doesn't care. Trixie saw the blanket Liama was holding and she gives her a thicker one. And Liama took the two blankets with her and she was approaching the garden door and she said, she's swearing at me. She's going to swear at her. This was her saying, Thandeka is going to swear at her, but she goes out, but she realized the doors are closed. And we see Ashe also trying to open the doors as they are closed. So Liama, Ashe, and Didi, they are close to the diary door because they even ringed the door at some point, but Biggie did not open. Now, the braids that Didi did for Ashe, he took them off. Ashe rang the bell countless times, no answer. Meanwhile, as these people are worried, Melly is busy sleeping and snoring on his bed. So Thandeka is still outside, but the other housemates are worried for him. Liama said it's really cold outside. Even if you're fighting, this was her talking to her friends, even if you're fighting, Haba. Didi said she wanted her man's attention, but he doesn't care. So Bravo and Trixie are seen sleeping. Ashe tries to open the garden door again and again and again. He goes to the diary room, knocks. So he rotates the diary room, the garden doors, the diary room, the garden doors to no avail. And he said, Big brother, come on. Thandeka is outside. Do something. Big brother, everyone is sleeping. So at this point, Didi and Liema had gone to sleep, and the cameras shows Malay snoring as Ashe is battling and worried. He cannot sleep because somebody is outside. So he's still in the main lounge and we can see his hands on the door of the garden. That's the inner door. And Thandeka is still outside sleeping. And it's like 1:13 a.m. And Ashe shouts, Thandeka, I'm trying to open the door. I'm trying. It's me, Ashe. It's me, Ashe. They converse through the door. They talk through the door. And she's near the door too at this point. She woke up and she said, Big brother, I need to pee. And she asked, who is there with him? So this Thandeka hoping that, oh, Melly is with Ashe. Oh, Melly's worried for her too. But the guy is sleeping. So she asked, how long have you been here, Ashe? And he said, about 30 minutes. And Thandeka is shocked. And she said, the only person that should be worried outside is my shitty boyfriend. And she wants to use the bathroom. So she tells Ashe that she went to the bathroom because Liema came to tell her that, oh, Melly is throwing up. So she goes to the bathroom and he tells her, fuck off, bitch, and left her in the bathroom. Ashe said, are you guys fighting? She said, no, she has a life to live. She really wants to pee right now. So she tells Ashe she's going to pee in the sink. And he was like, no, but the girl was really pressed. She was like, big brother, I want to pee, but to no avail. And she goes to the sink, you know, where they wash their clothes. That's where she went to pee. So I don't know why they had to show some of her parts while she was trying to pee. Why? That's crazy. So when Thandeka finished peeing, she washed the place with I think it was Omo. She told Ashe she actually peed there and she washed the place. She did actually. So she said, Ashe, please go to bed. This was her feeling bad that, oh, this guy is still awake because of her. And she said the person who should care doesn't even care. And Ashe tells her he wants to try and ring this bell again. And she said he should not ring the bell. She's suffering the consequences of sleeping outside. He should stop buzzing because he had already gone to buzz again. So Ashe is back and Thandeka said, Ashe, you are too good for my liking. Not like she's going to do the same, but she encouraged him to please go and sleep. And she tells him that she'll be fine. And he said, no, he cannot sleep, knowing that she's outside. No, he cannot sleep. And she said, go, sorry, excuse me, go look at Smelly for me. And Ashe said, he's sleeping, he's drunk. And she said, am I not drunk too? And she tells him that, honestly, Tumika, that's Ashe's girlfriend's name, is the luckiest girl in this world. He's too sweet. She tells him again, she checked on Melly when Liema told her that he was throwing up. She felt bad, and Melly could not come and check her. So she encouraged Ashe, please go and sleep. He should care less and just go and sleep. Ashe tells Thandeka that he cannot sleep if she's not sleeping. And she said, okay, Ashe, should I sleep on the king pie? There's like a pillow-like bed outside close to the garden doors. So she asked him, should she sleep there? Because he said he was so worried that she was sleeping in the bench near the pool area that he was scared. What if she falls off into the pool? And he said, yes, please, she should sleep on the king pie bed, mini bed, I'll say. And she said, okay. She tells him, okay, Ashe, I am there. I'm going to sleep there. And she thanks him and said, Ashe, just walk away, please. Ashe tries to sleep. So he sleeps in the main lounge. So just as Ashe was sleeping, the camera goes back to Thandeka, who is covered while she was trying to sleep. And she talks to herself. She said, did I disobey Big Brother? Yes. I didn't want to argue. Yeah. Am I going to confront Melly? No. This is not one of those things you will confront. I have a lot of thoughts. I think I need to make a choice now. Will I be with him or continue my life? And she says, this is someone who acts like a victim. It's about 2 something a.m. and Biggie makes an announcement that the garden doors may now be opened. And the first person to rush to Thandeka was Ashe. And Thandeka had already slept. And she was even confused when Ashe rushed. First, when he went outside, he looked towards the pool area. He didn't see her. Then he now looked, remembered, and looked towards the king pie mini bed. And he quickly carried Thandeka and rushed in. And she said she was going to sleep in the main lounge. So he dropped her in the main lounge and he covers her. He makes sure that he covered her very well. I think it was 2 coverlets he used on her. So He goes back to his HOH room. He sleeps. Everybody is sleeping, and not Trixie sleeping in a funny way. And she was sleep talking, saying different things. And later on, she sleeps back normally. And guys, thank you so much. Good night and resto. Bye.